Hiya, hiya. It's Joey Reynolds. I'm at the hanging tree. This was a hanging tree, and I hang myself every day when I do one of these broadcasts because I say things that people think, oh boy, he's never going to work again. And I'll just get the news here and tighten it up. And, you know, if you commit suicide, then you'd be doing network. Like, I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. People will watch this. This will go viral. The end of your life is the beginning of someone else's entertainment. Oh, wow. How American. Well, that's what we've done. We've turned American television into a courtroom, and all the viewers are the jury. And then it never even makes due process, except for, well, let's say Weinstein today, he had paid $20 million, which is just a royalty on one of his films. They've had so many hit movies, that's no big deal. But it's all about lawyers and paying the lawyers and paying the women that were affected by him, which is probably correct, but it went through the court system. Everything else that we're doing right now doesn't go through the court system. It goes through television, and then TV finds fault. And everybody seems to vote that you get the chair or get hung. They don't hang people anymore, do they? This was a hanging tree at one time. It really was. I mean, seriously. I don't know who they hung. Probably robbers. I'm a Robin Hood type guy. I like to take from the rich and give to the poor. That's also not very good. It's going over a boundary. But we're all about stockholders and the rich. That's what we're about, you know. See, the rich people don't have to worry because they have nowhere to spend their money now. There's no entertainment. They're not going to Broadway shows. They're not going out to dine. They're not taking trips overseas. They're not going on cruises. So they have more money than ever. They're not using their money to buy anything except maybe food. And they can't have an elaborate dinner because you can't have anybody over the house. You can't have servants. You can't spend your money. So the rich get richer and the poor get plastic drapes. That's what happens in life. And this is my pulpit. You see, I have a pulpit that I'm preaching on. I don't know if you know this or not. I've become the pulpit people. I sit here and I do my bully pulpit. See, my intention in life right now is to curb Larry David's enthusiasm. I'd like to curb it. And I think for one thing, Larry and I lived with Kramer. I lived with Kramer for over a year. As a matter of fact, to get rid of me in his extra room that I lived in, when he had a love affair with a wonderful young lady, he needed me out of the house, so he had to go and get me an apartment to move. That's how generous he was. But he still wanted me to come over there and clean and make cheesecakes. That's my friend Kramer. And Larry David was best of friends with him. That's how Kramer got to be the show. It should have been called Kramer instead of Seinfeld because it actually was Kramer. But Seinfeld was a comedian that did very well on stand-up. He actually made money doing stand-up. The other guys, Larry would get pissed off at the audience and walk off stage. Kramer was too busy opening acts for rock and roll and probably using some of the substances back in those days. He also was running for mayor and decided to not finish the race for running for mayor because there was work involved and he didn't want to work for a living. Am I hanging myself with Kramer now? Is that... What else do I discover? Oh yeah, Gayle King. I call her Blackula. You know, I mean, is CBS trying to be, are they trying to be the black network? Because everything they do is about appealing to this black culture right now. And it's overdoing it. That's why I'm bringing it up. Not because I'm not any sort of claiming to be a racist or anything else, or a non-racist. I'm not claiming anything. I'm just an American citizen. See, the thing that we need to have in this country is freedom. I mentioned it yesterday. Freedom is the umbrella. Now, once you start to tamper with law and order, then you are then attacking freedom, because freedom comes with responsibility. And the law has to be responsible to someone and accountable. That's the part that needs to be worked on. So that's how you keep this thing going that we call America. We're the only country in the world that does this, that has that kind of freedom. We have freedom. You can do whatever you want to do until you get caught, get away with it, or it's on television and then the audience sends you to the hanging tree. But Gayle King, I mean, the reason I pick on her, she's like Oprah's best friend. I mean, why does everything have to be about black right now? I noticed they had a poet on America's Got Talent. They had a black poet. It's called slam. They've been doing this for years in clubs, you know, in poetry. But he's a black guy after this period where they want to cool everybody down. I don't want to cool anybody down. I want everybody to do what's right. You don't need a black community. You need a community, common unity. We all need to get together as people. As a culture, that's a whole nother deal. I come from Italians. I'm raised Catholic. I mean, that's my culture. This is my given. I was brought into this world not knowing that I was coming into this world. And when I got here, I didn't know where I was. And nobody ever gave me a life on a book on how to live. I went to school. I learned a certain something there. I learned some more with friends. In the early days, I was known as Joseph. And then when I went to college, I was known as Joe E. And no, I was Joey in grammar school. Then I was Joe. My name changed 3 times, you know. But it's all guilt by association, and that's the culture. But I'm an American, and I'm a guy who lives here in this country in freedom, and so are you, no matter who you are. And we don't need a movie star to second the emotion. You need to be your own person. You need to really go inside of yourself and dig very deep and find out what you're all about, and then go for it, because in the freedom you can do that. But not with a group. Never with a group. A group, you know, they always say that a camel is a horse planned by a committee. That's the saying. So I don't know if I want to see a committee plan my life. Anyway, so far it's been good, and I've lived. Listen, I can't take you through 80 years of how to live. You're going to have to do it on your own. You can use my name, but then you're going to have to pay my bills. Anyway, that's so far. I'll get back to you. I'll get even. It's a Reynolds rap. You'll never forget this.